Told him, dive in, this shit feel like water. Dive in, this shit feel like water. Dive in, this shit feel like water. Told him, dive in, this shit feel like water. Addiction.
Welcome back to my channel. I don't even remember what I called this channel. We're gonna be talking about my trip to Miami that went terribly wrong. It couldn't have gone as worse as it did. It couldn't have gone worser. I'm not sure it makes sense. It couldn't have gone worser than it did. Okay. Like, do you understand the amount of stress that a girl went through on this trip? The amount of almost having a breakdown? The amount of fear that went through my body on this trip? I'm sorry. I'm just too focused on how good my hair looks right now. But
Mommy?
Do I know mommy?
Sorry, mommy?
first day of school, I get there. I'm looking real cute. My scrubs, you know, we have to wear mandated black scrubs and closed-toe shoes. So I'm looking cute. Like, I look good. No one could tell me different. Anyways, so I get there. I'm over here. We had like kits we had to get. So in these kits came like heads. If you're in cosmetology school, you know this. They come with heads, mannequin heads. If you don't know, like, they sound mad weird. Like heads, mannequin heads, combs, all that. Like all these supplies you'll need for the that quarter, that semester of school. So I go to the front office. I get the supplies. I go back to the office. I'm putting my stuff together in my little cubby, real cute. I got little organization bins. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna put this here. So here's the little crazy thing. When I joined cosmetology school, the date on the website for starting was different for my schedule. Until we started like a whole month, but we really already had started. So when I went to the school member to go check, because I had some weird feeling that something was wrong. So I went to school and I met the teacher, and she was like, "Oh no, we've been started, boo, like a week ago." She said, don't worry, like, come in 2 days, like, come take 2 days and like get yourself together, come and and come ready. I said, cool. Like, me and the teacher already been there. Okay, that's my girl. I'm gonna call her Miss R. So Miss R and I, we really like, that's my girl. So first day of school, I picked the booth right next to her because all the other booths near her were taken up. So I picked that booth. Everyone comes in the classroom. Moving on through the class, like, more weeks to come, I'm starting to really introduce myself to everybody in the class. I'm finding out who I do not like and it's not like I'm like trying to be petty or nothing. Like, there were some girls in class who were redneck, and I feel like they were racist and homophobic. It was like one side of the classroom was called like Redneck Central, and the other side I was on was like all the colored folks and the queer people. It was literally, I promise you not. There was this middle aisle where all the like extra stations where people had their stations there. There was one girl, we're gonna call her, she is the I don't want to call her main character because I'm the main character of the story, but what's like, I don't know, okay? She's the one who I'm talking about in this story. And we're gonna call her I would like come up to talk to her, but she was real quiet, real reserved. Like, she didn't really she went to school, like, she was not about all that like play and friend stuff and stuff. We should try to invite her. Like, I had a little friend group in the class that went out to eat after class every time, and like that was like my little group, and I was trying to invite her out to eat because like I just wanted to be inclusive. So I was like, hey, you want to come out to eat with us? Like, she came out to eat with us probably like maybe 2 times. Skip forward a couple of months. This is May, I'm thinking. Yeah, it is May. She hit me up. We've been talking then. Like, we really have been really friends. We will start to be friends for like, I came over her place. We smoked a little drink together. It was like, we was vibing. We was getting there. It was friends. It was giving like, we locked in, okay? We went to the mall together. We were here fighting people in car. Like, I didn't fight, but she almost fought somebody in the car next to us for honking at me crazy. You know what I'm saying? We vibe like this is my girl. Let's get into the next part. She invites me over, you know, and she's like, hey, we should definitely plan a trip together. Like something for the break that's coming up. I said, oh yeah, girl, spring break. Like, let's do something. Our spring break was, girl, I am tripping. That was April. So in April, she's like, let's plan a trip for spring break. Let's do something. I said, definitely. Like, where you want to go? She said, Miami. I said, ooh, like, I ain't never been to Miami. Like, I've been to Florida. You know, I go there with my family to go to, like, Disneyland and, like, Orlando. I ain't never been to Miami. Miami to me was like, that was what the grown folks went. That was where you was like, you was that girl. So I'm like, oh, I'm finally old enough to go to Miami. So me and her, we planned this trip. She's like, oh, you know, we should invite my boyfriend. I said, yeah, cool. Like, invite your boyfriend. I don't care. I'll be single in Miami. And I look good. So, you know, I'm feeling myself. We start planning this trip. We are looking for Airbnbs. The mess hits the fan. Her boyfriend is asking me and her for like what we want to do with Airbnb. We're looking for Airbnbs that like are like efficient in cost, so we can all pay for, we have a good time, and that, you know, it will be a good trip. It's 4 days that we're there, right? You don't want to be like miserable. You don't in a or horrible Airbnb somewhere that you're not from. That sounds horrible to me. So we look for Airbnbs, we find one, and the pictures looked decent. It did. It looked decent. Like, I wasn't complaining. Keep listening. The day we planned the trip, we have sent the money for the Airbnb. We have paid every deposit. We are good, ready to go. Thing is that we're driving, okay? Because they didn't have enough money for a plane ticket, and I couldn't get one last minute. Day before we supposed to leave from Miami, she tells me, oh, so I invited my boyfriend invited his friend to come on a trip. Is that okay? I said, you didn't even ask me. You're gonna invite a whole nother man I don't know. But I was like, I can't do anything. You already invited him. So I'm like, okay, like, and I remember my friend saying, girl, I wouldn't have gone. I don't think you should go. Because why would you invite a whole grown man I don't know on a trip? And that's giving very much double date. It's giving very much you set me up. And I'm like, girl, no, like, any like that. So the day before we go, I'm tossing and turning in my bed the night before. This feeling, do not ride with them in that car. Do not ride with them in that car. Do not get in that car. Like, my spirit guides are literally yelling at me, Caroline, do not get in that car. And I'm like, okay, I will not get in this car. I said, I have to drive it myself, or I have to, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go. I'm thinking like all these different scenarios that I shouldn't go, or I shouldn't drive with them. I'm like, and they were like, the morning comes and like, hey, you coming? Like, it's like in there. I said, I'm gonna drive by myself. I'm gonna meet y'all there. You know, I'm like, I'll just drive by myself. They're like, okay, like, and they leave. And I remember getting up. My mom and grandma are literally there. They're like, Caroline, you sure you want to go? Like, you don't have to go. You can stay here. It's like, it's no biggie. Like, you don't have to go. Trying to like tell me like you shouldn't go, but they're also very like, they want me to learn my own lessons on my own. So they don't want to tell me what I can and cannot do. So they're like, you don't have to go if you don't want to. It's, you know, you can always stay here. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. And probably I can be very stubborn sometimes. So once I put my mind to something, I'm doing it. And it ain't no backing out. Okay? So what do? I get my luggage, I put it in my sedan, and I head on the road by myself, a 12-hour drive to Miami. First of all, do y'all understand? I have never driven more than 5 hours by myself. I drove 12 hours to Miami on my own. No one in the car, by myself, with the GPS in me, and 12 miles ahead. That was it. I'm driving. I am exhausted. Driving. I'm drinking Red Bulls back to back. I'm pulling over getting Red Bulls just back to back. Finally, I get there. It is nighttime. I'm pulling up to the place, and I'm looking around for the Airbnb that I thought I paid for, and we are in the hood.
Gotcha, bitch.
I just drove 12 hours to be in the hood. And so I'm looking around. I pull up to a motel. I'm like, is this a location? I'm texting her. I'm texting Flower, and she's like, yeah, that's the location. I said, she said, yeah, me and my boyfriend went to Walmart real quick, but I'm gonna call the dude DJ. DJ is inside right now. I'm gonna call her boyfriend. So I'm gonna call her boyfriend, Umar. That's so random. Umar, and I'm gonna call the boy DJ. So I hope that's not their names. It's not. If it is, she's like, oh, DJ's in the motel, like he's waiting, so you can go in there and just wait for us. We're at Walmart real quick. I said, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is a motel. I sent you $300. I sent you $300 for this Airbnb on my part. Why are we staying in a motel? Is that anyone else's thought process? Is anyone else confused? I'm knocking on the door, waiting for DJ to open the door. Was BJ? I don't know what I called him. DJ, BJ, whatever. DJ, open the door. This man scared the living hell out of me. This man looked like he had been to jail about 5 times. He had a beer belly this huge. Come on, I think it was Santa Claus beer belly with tattoos all over it. Like, it was like he wanted to be. It was like a Santa Claus version of Tupac. It was. I just remember being like, what is, with no shirt on, dirty sweatpants and slides with dirty socks. He smelled like a mix of weed and cigarettes. And I remember just looking at him, I'm like, he was like, you Flower friend? I said, yeah. He said, oh, all right. I said, oh, my luggage in the car, like 1 second. Now, maybe this is a thing that maybe other people don't relate to, but the way I was raised is if a woman is trying to get her luggage out the car, a man should help her get luggage out the car. And that's just me. I don't know. So you see me struggling to get his luggage out the car, and he's just gonna stand there in the window looking like this. That's what he looked like. Just standing there looking stupid. How about you help me with the luggage? And I said something, I said, you ain't gonna help me with the luggage? You ain't gonna help me bring the luggage inside? And he was like, oh, my bad. Okay, I'm looking around. I go inside. There's 2 couches. A dirty ass ghetto kitchen. And a 1 bedroom. That's just the basic things. If you pay attention, I'm about to edit a video of what it was like in this motel Airbnb. I'm walking around the place. I'm going to the bathroom. There's mold in the shower. The tub is dirty. The sink is covered in whatever. The walls are molding. It smells like mold. It's disgusting. It's clammy. It's like, it's just not it. First thing I do is call Mama. I said, Mama. I said, Mom. I said, this ain't it. She said, oh my God. I said, yeah. She said, is this where you're staying? I said, She said, no, it's not. We're gonna find you we're gonna find you a hotel to stay in for the night, right? That's what she said. So her and my dad are like working like crazy trying to find me a hotel room for the night. So Flower and her boyfriend Umar get back. They're driving back and I'm leaving out. My mom was like, go ahead and go get something to eat because you haven't eaten in like 12 hours. Go drive to Chick-fil-A for a bit, get something to eat, You know what I'm saying? Because she knows me. She knows I get very, like, when I feel like the situation is out of my control sometimes, I can get a little bit like, oh, I can get like anxiety. So she's like, go get something to eat. Go do that. So I text Flower, and as I'm driving out, she's pulling in. And I said, hey, I'm going to give you something to eat, and maybe we can talk about the room situation. She said, oh, don't worry about it. Like, you can have the bed. I was like, that's not the problem. That ain't the problem. I'll see you in a bit. I get back. I'm like, so y'all want to stay here? And they're like, oh, well, we don't have nothing. It's nothing wrong with that. I said, there's mold. And I said, and in my head, I'm thinking, I said $300. What happened to that? And this is not the place I thought I paid for. I only knew this girl for literally less than 3 months. So why I thought go on a trip with her? Lacking brain cells, I guess. So as I'm contemplating, waiting for my parents to like make a decision, I don't know, like we're in limbo at this point. We're waiting, we're sitting, we're like just waiting around. And they get on the conversation, her and BJ, on this weird conversation where he starts arguing with her. He's like, so remember that other day we was at your place and you was like, you wouldn't let your boyfriend borrow your car? Because she was the only one that had a car. She was the only one that had a car. Her boyfriend didn't have no car. And he wanted to use her car to go make plays. And she was like, no, you're not using my car to make plays. And he was like, how are you not going to let your boyfriend use your car to make plays? You don't want to make no money. She was like, that's not making money legally, though. That's my car. If something happens, I'm liable for that. And he was like, man, you ain't really no ride or die for real. And I'm like, why? I said, why does she have to let him use her car for making plays? Why not he go get his own car to do that, or borrow your car or someone else's car to do that? Why you gotta use her car and make her liable? And he was like, man, I don't know, y'all. The man was slow. I'm sorry to say it. My mom called me. She's like, we think we found a hotel. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm like, well, I'm about to go see this hotel first, y'all. I don't know if it is, but, and I'm like, you know, Flower can come stay with me. My parents are not gonna allow 2 men to stay with me at a hotel. Y'all can stay here tonight, but my mom's not gonna allow 2 grown men to stay with me at a hotel. That's just not gonna work. Or my daddy. So I'm like, well, Flower, you are more than welcome if it works out. So I'm on the way driving there, and mom's like, stop. I'm so sorry, but they will not allow you to stay at this hotel without your dad there to verify. I said, excuse me? They're like, yeah, they need your verification that they need his verification because his credit cards are on the room. I said, even though I have his last name and I'm obviously his daughter, they can't give you, they can't let me use the room. So, end up not being able to get the room, right? This is when I get back to the hotel, the motel, and I'm standing there. I'm so pissed off because the room didn't work. I'm stuck in this situation. There's nothing I can do. Then, before I know it, a brown little cockroach crawls across the floor. And that's when I was like, oh, hell no.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So, the roach crawls across the floor. I'm like, no, I need to get out of here. I can't do this. And then before I know it, another one crawls across the floor. And before I know it, I see more in the kitchen. It's infested with roaches and mold. That's when Umar says, no, we can't stay here, y'all. I really can't. This is nasty. He said, we gotta get our money back and we gotta find another Airbnb. And mold, I can't do the mold because Flowers is like very allergic to mold and can have like an asthma attack. So we're like, let's go wait in the car and see if we can get another Airbnb and get our money back. So we're waiting in the car. Hours go by. Hours. Umar is trying to figure out he's trying to figure out how to get the money back. He's calling the Airbnb people to get the money back, to have them get another place. And it did work. Eventually they gave a refund, but this was after, I kid you not, y'all, this was after 8 hours of sitting in the car. They're sleeping in their car, I'm sleeping in mine. I'm sleeping in my car outside of a motel while strange men are walking around the car looking inside. I literally had a man knock on the freaking window like a crackhead. Was like, I wake up in my sleep. He was like, can you roll your window down? I said, no, like, go. I was terrified. I was terrified. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not from the hood, and I am not used to that situation. And I don't want to be used to that situation. If you are used to that situation, God bless you. But me, that was not my thing. This was too much for me. In the morning, it's time to go. The people come to like lock up the motel for the Airbnb, and DJ's in the room sleeping on the bed in the room with the mold and the roaches. The people are like, is anyone in the room? Because Umar went to go get the keys for the next Airbnb, and we're like, oh, no one's in the room. Because if someone's in the room after you complain about there being rolled with roaches, that means you do not care enough. That means you're just lying. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you in the room after you just complained about there being these like problems type stuff? So we're like trying to lie to the person that, oh, he's in the room right now using the bathroom, but like he only went in for a second. He's coming right back out. Like, we're trying to call DJ to come out the room, like, hurry up, bro, like, before they come in there, we don't get a refund. And it's just like, this man is taking his sweet time. Like, he's gonna take forever. He's gonna be lounging about in the room like it ain't got roaches. Like, this is his everyday life, and maybe it is, but I'm like, come on. Anyways, we all get ready to go to the next place. We drive into the next Airbnb, and that was definitely much better. It was a beautiful house, gorgeous, beautiful house. 3-bedroom, beautiful shower, up to my standards. Thank you. For $300, it better be. It better be. Because why am I paying money for a place that looks like that? That makes no sense. So, we get to the next place, and I thought to myself, why am I in this situation? The first day there in the new Airbnb, I had to deal with their friend DJ asking me dumb questions. Do you have a charger? Like, I have my charger, like, it ain't working. Like, you have a charger? I'm like, yeah, but I only have one. The one that I have for myself. I'm sorry, you can use it for a bit. He will come back, the charger not working. How the charger not working? If all this used, I'm like, maybe it's the outlet. Maybe you should like sit in the living room or something. He was like, oh, alright. Go sit in the living room. The charger still ain't working. I said, well, it's crazy because it works for me. He was like, well, dang, can I use the outlet in your room? I said, no. I don't know you. I don't know this man. And you want to come in my room? I said, maybe you should ask for Flower if they have a charger and see if that works. He goes to them, they get a charger for him, goes about his business. So I'm in my bedroom. We're about to go out to let's backtrack. After we were waiting for the Airbnb that morning, after sitting in a car for 8 hours, sweating and stinking in that Miami heat stroke of air. I'm talking about, it's so hot, you would sweat in places you never thought you could sweat before. So, morning comes, Umar's like, oh, we got the Airbnb, but we gotta wait. Like, we gotta go get the key, we gotta wait. I said, cool, like, let's go get some food. Like, I'm starving, and like, I need to take a shower. I'm stinking. Like, I can't go nowhere like this. I can't stay in his clothes. I feel disgusting. He was like, I'll tell you this, one thing about him, while he had a lot of issues in his story, he is one hood smart man, okay? He had his stuff together. He was like, well, let's go to Planet Fitness or something like that and go take a shower. Because, you know, you don't have to pay for those. We can just walk in, take a shower, and get dressed in our clothes. I said, that's a smart man right there. So we get dressed. We have our little purses, and we put clothes in the purses, right, that we could wear. We go in, we take showers, we get freshened up. I put my little deodorant on, put my makeup on, get my hair right, jewelry, and we walk out. When I tell you, this is when the train went down. This is when everything went downhill. Because I realized I was with a group of people who never was out the house before. Maybe they never been anywhere before. They don't have any etiquette. They did not have etiquette at all. we go out to eat. We're at the place, and the waiter comes over, and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" They don't say anything. I said, "Hi," and she's like, "Oh, what can I help you guys with today?" And you, Marcy, next to me gonna say, "What y'all got to eat?" She's like, "Oh, this is the menu," and I hate to say it, but I don't think he could read. For real, I don't think he could read. And I say this because, and I'm not making fun of him. I'm not making fun of him because I know some people are not lucky enough to get the same education as other people. But why I say this is because now I'm looking at the menu, and she said, "Oh, we have our entrees right here. We have secondary entrees." It was like really nice restaurant. Like it was cute, little Mexican place. And it had like other stuff, and he was like, she's like, "This is the entrees," and he said, "So what y'all got?" She said, "Oh, this is the entree." Like she was like, "Okay, are you listening?" And he was like, "So like, what kind of stuff y'all got on the menu?" Like he kept like he looked at the menu like, "So I don't think he can read." And it's like, if you can't, it's okay. But it was just like to put yourself in situations where you know. I can't even say anything because I have never, like, that's not my situation. And so I can't say how he can handle that. God bless him, God can say. But I would say it was a long trip because I was about tired by the end of it. Okay. The whole time, the waitress come over, ask the question. He's like, "What is this?" Or like, she'll bring the sauce on the side of his dish. And he was like, "Man, what this is?" And she'd be like, "It's like a seasoning that you put on the side of our tacos." And he was like, "What's in it?" And she's like, "Oh," she was being so nice. That waitress was so nice because they about stressed me out at the end of that dang, like, lunch. I was like, y'all about to piss me off being so rude. And so, like, where's your, like, why are you at a restaurant acting like this? You was embarrassing us. Embarrassing me because I'm with y'all. So, we leave the restaurant. We go back to the Airbnb and we're like, "Okay, so what do you want to do today?" So the Airbnb was in Fort Lauderdale and they wanted to go to Miami. So like, "Oh, well, we had to drive and go to Miami, like to go see like stuff." And Flower had a friend who went to Miami University. She was like, "Oh, let's go see my friend in Miami. Like, let's go see her and see what kind of plans she has." Like, she says she knows some parties because, of course, a college student knows what parties are. We're like, "Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun." And like, "Well, Kelly, can we drive in your car?" I said,
Bombastic side eye.
"Yeah, I mean, if y'all give me gas money, because it's an hour away." I said, "Yeah, if y'all like send me like $15 each, like, that's cool." They're like, "Why?" I said, "Because it's an hour to go, an hour back. And then I have to pick up another person I don't even know. And then we have to drive to other parties. And then, like, this is a lot of gas that I'm bringing up for people that aren't even my people, really." I didn't say that. I was like, "Because I need gas." I said, "Well, we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to go anywhere. But unless you send me gas, we're not going to go anywhere." And then I remember they're like, "Okay." Like, I'm sorry, I'm inconveniencing you. Sorry you only brought a 2-seater car. And the back seat is so cramped up. The man, you DJ in the back like this the whole 12 hours in the back of the car. Like, it's not my fault you decided to bring a 2-seater car trying to look cute and now you ain't got no space for people. But you want to drive my car. So if I didn't drive to Miami, what are you going to do? But since I got a car now, y'all want to be using my car for all transportation, picking up other folks. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm like, "Y'all will send me $15 each and we can do this." So we get in the car and like, "Let's make a stop somewhere real quick to get, Umar was like, "Let's stop real quick and get gas real quick." Because I need to put the money that y'all spent me in my tank after I drove 12 hours. So we get to the gas station. I put the $15 in my tank that they gave me each. And my tank takes like to fill it up completely sometimes, especially in Miami, which is very expensive, by the way. It's expensive. It took all my money. Let's be clear here. It took all the money for gas that they sent me. The money they sent me was all took for gas. Let's be clear. I had lots of money left myself, but that's not the point. I came prepared for Miami. we're saying we're going to Miami, I'm gonna bring the amount of money I need to go to Miami, knowing how expensive Miami is. Keep this in mind. You bring enough money to go to Miami, knowing how expensive Miami is. Miami's expensive. Most people know this. Common sense ain't that common though. All of a sudden, Yuma runs aside and grabs the gas. What's the gas can? Is it canister or something? And he starts filling up the tank, filling up with gas from the gas thing. And he was like, "Can I put this in your trunk?" I said, "No." He's like, "Oh, it won't be for a bit, like da da da." I said, "Why?" He was like, and we just fill up your tank and you give us the money back." I said, "Why am I giving you money back? Why? What? I asked you for money for a car ride that you want to take in my car to places I never even agreed to go to. But I'm willing to drive that way, but all I asked was $15. You ain't got $15 each, even, like, without worry? Why coming to Miami if you ain't got $15 to spare without worry?" And he was like, "Oh, you just send us the money back and we'll just..." I'm like, "No." I said, "No." I said, "You can use that gas for your car. I'm gonna keep the money because I already spent it on the gas that I should be able to spend it on." And he rolled his eyes and put the gas in the back of my car. We won't talk about how the gas spilled and how my car smelled like gas for a couple months after. Okay. So, this trip, the whole way driving to downtown Miami was them in the car asking me dumb questions like, "So, like, you really, like, what kind of guys do you like to date?" And I should have known that Umar is asking that for his homeboy. I wasn't thinking that though. On the way there, they pissed me off the whole way. Umar's in the back smoking a cigarette in my car without even asking. I'm driving. I smell smoke. I'm like, "What is that?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just a cigarette." I said, "Put that out. You're in my car." He said, "It's just a cigarette." I'm like, "I don't care. You're my..." Who in their right mind goes in someone's car they do not know and smokes a cigarette without asking a person? That's disrespectful on the level. That's some... I don't know if that's how people roll, but that's not how I do things. And so they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, "Check your homeboy. He's smoking a cigarette in my car." He's like, "Oh, you won't smell it. We on the highway." I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with all these people, but this is like the whole time my meter of tolerating bulls, it's like going down. It's like, okay, we stop. We finally pick up the friend. We get her. And on the way there, again, they're asking me, "So, like, what kind of guys do you like?" I'm like, "Oh, you know, guys who have their life together, I like men who are, like, well put together, established, smart." And he's, like, quiet as heck, obviously, because he ain't got none of them qualities. I want a guy who went to college, or maybe he's, like, working towards a career. If it's not in college, maybe it's not through college or some other career. He's like, "Oh, so you wouldn't date a guy unless he went to college?" I said, "That's not what I said. I said either he's in college or he has a career." And they're like, "Oh, so you one of them?" Like, I said, "Yes, I am one of them." It's like you're trying to make me feel bad for having standards. I'm sorry that you don't have any. I was like, she can like what she like. Why are y'all dragging it out? Because for real, I can like what I like. She's like, she likes a guy like that. That's what she likes. Okay, because why are you asking dumb questions like this? So we still go on. We pick up the friend. We on the way to party. We stop at a liquor store, okay? By the way, DJ Max still smoking the dang cigarette in my car. We get out the car. He slammed the door. Like, I'm talking about hard as heck. He gets back in the car. He gets the car, slams the door. I said, "Stop slamming my door." I said, "Stop slamming my damn door." Ignores me. Goes inside. Come back, slams the door again. I said, "Stop slamming my door." And they looking at me like I'm crazy. Am I not, like... in situations like this, I think to myself, am I imagining this? Did it not actually happen? Like, am I the only one that notices how disrespectful that is? And then look at me, I'm like... And so when DJ's inside, Umar comes back, I said, "Can you check your friend and stop slamming my door?" And he's like, "Why can't you just tell him that yourself?" I said, "He's your friend. Check him. He ain't my friend. I told him to stop disrespecting my car. He will not stop. And he's your friend, so check him." And he basically, like, ignores me. my blood pressure getting up. I can just feel it. Think about the situation because how mad I was in the moment. Because people just love disrespecting me. Like, just because I'm driving you somewhere, don't mean I can't kick you out on this freaking road, boo. You gonna be on the side of my end walking to the party that a Flowers friend directs us to, and it's a cool party. It's cool and all, real white. That's all I gotta say. Okay, we go inside. I'm having a good time. I ended up seeing a girl actually I knew from like when I went to SCAD for the freshman seminar camp. I was like, I know you. She was like, I know you too. We had a little moment. He was like, girl, how you been? Catching up, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, me and the girl, we chilling for like the whole rest of the night. We talking, chopping up, having a good time. Good for it. This don't really matter. It's time for the next day. We go home, we go to bed. We won't talk about how, like, the DJ's being very weird. Like, I wouldn't take a shower. He kept trying to open the door. I told him I was in the shower. He kept trying to open the door. Why are you trying to open the door? I said I'm in the shower. There's things like that. Like, that'd be very, very weird. I'm being dead serious. So, next day, it's time to go to the excursions we planned, which is one because they had no money for any others, which was jet ski. Okay, I had the money for jet ski. We drive there. The friend stayed the night, and Flower's friend stayed the night because she was gonna come with us to do the excursion the next day. We go there. We drive down there. I drive down to the jet ski thing again, which is again, let's talk about it, an hour away. Parking costs $20. Well, I didn't know none of them offered to pay. And the guy was like, I need the money right now. And like, there's no place to park. I'm backed in. There's people behind me, people in front of me. I can't get out. So the guy's like, $20 parking. I'm like, well, I have $20 in cash. And I had my money. And I'm like, did you really just like, no one offered to pay? Is that not like 2 grown men in the car and you can't offer to pay for me? This offer, or this other lady's in the car, offer to pay. Why am I paying by myself? I'm getting heated thinking about the situation. We park. The $20 bill I gave him, I was like, hey, can I actually give that to you? Like, I want to keep that. Can I go get another one? He was like, yeah, leave the ATM behind the podium. So I'm going behind the podium. I'm taking money out of the ATM. They're rushing me. They're like, can you hurry up? I'm like, I know you're not rushing me after I just paid for my own, after I paid for us to park. Like, don't rush me. The disrespect was out astronomical. So, skip forward. We're walking towards the tickets to get the jet ski. And we go there, and I already had money. I'm just waiting for them to figure it out because they're over here like, well, I can send you this much, and you can send me that, or I can send you this. Like, I'm buying stuff at the store, getting water, some chips and stuff, because I know I'm gonna be hungry. I'm like, well, y'all gonna take forever, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get what I need to get. Finally, they're like, oh, you're ready to pay, Caroline, come on. I send the lady the money. They send their part. We head out. We finally get on the boat to the boat that takes us to the dock to ride the jet skis. We driving there. I had a good time. Jet skis and all that, and it was really cute. Okay, I got to drive the boat. I'm gonna insert that video too. I got to drive the boat. I got to ride jet skis. Yeah. Skip forward. That morning after, that was the day that the last day we were there. I think we spent the whole day inside. We didn't even do anything that day, but we went to breakfast, and I remember them asking me questions. Did you ever date a guy who went to prison? I said no. They're like, would you ever date a guy who went to jail? I said no. What do you go to jail for? If it's not protesting for human rights, I'm not doing it. Why am I dating someone who went to jail? Prison, I'm sorry. And if you have, and that's your thing, if you was on Love for Prisoners, I don't know, what's that thing to be like, write a inmate, something like that. That is not for me. Some people love to build people up. Some people like to build men up and to help men get from deep in the trenches. I ain't Bob Builder. sprinkle, sprinkle, you know, like Cheryl say. Okay? That's not me. Alright, well, why do you care so much? Did you go? He was like, yeah, I went to jail. They both went to jail. You invited me on a trip with men I do not know went to jail, and now it makes me think about the whole entire time the man was trying to go in my freaking bathroom without asking me. At going in the bathroom, and after I was in there, I don't know what he went to jail for. And I'm not accusing him of stuff, but that's scary as heck. I'm a young lady on a trip, people I do not know that well, and this man trying to go in my room, trying to go in my bathroom, no. Just keep this in mind, like, uneasy is what I felt. All these standards I said because that's what I want my man to be like. And I would say, like, Flowers was really sticking by me for that. She was like, if she doesn't want a guy who went to jail, she doesn't have to be with a guy that went to jail. She doesn't have to date a guy. It's what she likes. It's her standards. I'm like, period. Period. So that night came and we decided to play drunk Uno, okay? We took, like, I would say I took maybe one shot, and I remember Umar saying to DJ, I'm gonna get her drunk for you, cuz.
Huh?
Cuz, huh? I said, excuse me? He said, oh, I was just playing. I said, that's not no joke. I remember, like, Flowers was like, that's not really funny, baby. That was kind of weird. Everyone kind of paused. And I remember I felt so uncomfortable after that. And I didn't want to drink anymore. I didn't want to play anymore. And then the two of them got up, Umar and Flowers, and went in the bedroom and left me there with him. I get my phone. I'm on the couch. He gets up and stands behind me. He was like, you think I'm ugly or something? I said, no, I didn't say that. He was like, what's the problem then? Why don't you want to mess with me? I said, because you want me to fuck you, and I don't want to. And he just laughed. He was like, ha 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 ha. And then sits down next to me. And he tries to put his hand on my thigh. And I get up, I jump up, and I go to the bedroom. And I remember before I go to a bedroom, I listened into the door come. We were supposed to go out again that night. So I lean into the door. I'm like, are they sleeping? And I realized that they are. Or maybe they're just having quiet time. I don't know. And I go to the bedroom and I close the door and I lay down. I'm laying down and I feel the spirit of Jesus Christ or my spirit guides or God himself. And he was like, lock the door. Lock the door. Lock the door. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I could feel it yelling in my ear. Lock the door, lock the door, lock the door. It was like, it was not even playing. It was like screaming at me. And I'm getting emotional because like a part of me feels like if I did not lock that door, I don't know what could happen that night. And I'm being so serious. And like, that was very, very dangerous situation. Like almost a real like, okay. I get up to lock the door, and why the second I feel like I'm about to lock the door like was turning. Like I get like the turning lock and the door was turning, like he was like coming to open the door. And I'm gonna also add in like throughout the trip, he would like come and like knock on my door, ask for stuff in his underwear with like no clothes on, just in his underwear with like everyone else is sleeping. He would just come late at night and ask me for stuff in his underwear. And then that night, I'm getting up, lock the door, and I feel you turning the knob, and you're drunk. And what do you come into my room for? Like that's, my heart is really pumping thinking about how like that could have been a very, very bad situation. Very bad. Very bad situation. Next morning, I packed my stuff and I head to my parents, who decided to get an Airbnb in Orlando, like 3 hours away from me. Thank the Lord. I remember I just pouring my heart like, Mom, like, and my dad being like, and to spend the rest of the vacation, my time with my parents, had a good time, went to water parks and all that. This is when it got bad though, and I went back to school. Spring break is over, and we're returning back to class, and I get there and I walk in the classroom, and Flowers is talking to my friends about the trip and how I was over exaggerating everything. DJ told them from the car on the way home that I was flirting with him, or made it seem like I made it seem like he wanted me. Like I was over exaggerating the situation. Like, oh, she made it seem like I wanted her, like I wanted to have sex with her. He literally like make the situation like I'm just making it all up. Like I just made the whole thing up. Like everything that happened that made me uncomfortable was just out of nowhere. She was like, Caroline, like, right? Like, why did you make it seem like he wanted you? Like she said that to me in front of them. I'm like, because he did. He was acting really weird. And she was like, what he said in the car, that he wasn't even trying like you like that. Like you made it seem like it was so dramatic. And I remember being like my heart started pumping, and I remember feeling like in so much anxiety. I dropped my stuff at my desk at my booth, and I ran to the bathroom and I broke down. My friend coming and like asking me if I was okay. And I'm like, I will tell you what happened on the trip, but like it was not what she's making it seem like. She's making it seem like I just made the whole thing up. Like I was uncomfortable that whole entire trip with him. He would come to my room late at night and ask me things in his underwear. He tried to open the door the last night. He tried to make a move on me multiple times. Like I'm not just making things up. They set me up on that trip. They thought that I was gonna be okay with that. They thought I was gonna sleep with that man. That's what they really did. They thought I was easy and that I would be impressed by him. And when I wasn't, that's why they kept asking those questions like, oh, you don't want to date a dude from prison? You don't want to date a guy who has... No, I'm not going to date your homeboy. No, I don't think your homeboy's cute. No, your homeboy is a bum. Your homeboy is a bum. He didn't have $15 to send me. You know that? I had to beg that man for $15 for gas. You think I'm going to date a man who has to beg for $15 for gas? Who won't even pay for a parking ticket? Who won't even... I have to ask to get the luggage out of my car? Who has a beer belly bigger than Santa Claus himself? The hell do I look like? And you're gonna be telling me that I'm the one trying to make a move on him. Look for the birds. What's that saying? If you let them shenan once, they gonna shenan again. So in my head, I'm thinking, if he had done something to me that night, they wouldn't have believed me. Or if they knew what happened, they would have said I decided I wanted to. They would have blamed right on me. If he took advantage of me that night. If he got me drunk for him, cuz type stuff, right? Situations like that are here to teach you, as a lady, do not go and trust people you do not know. Do not hang out with men you do not know. Do not do dumb things. If you have a bad feeling, trust it, because all the feelings I had during the trip of lock the door, do not do this, do not do that, help me out, and I feel like save me from so much. Trust your parents when they say, are you sure you want to go? And just because things seem like fun does not mean that you need to do it. Make memories with people who are genuine people, who you know well, who you have spent some time with in uncomfortable situations, who will have your back in uncomfortable situations, really have your back, and not try and save themselves. Because really what happened is she went to school and she was scared I was going to tell them what happened, and she told them first. It made it seem like I just exaggerated the story. But luckily for my sake, my friends know me, and they made sure to come and ask me about the situation. And they literally shunned her. Like, they did not talk to her. She ended up leaving. Like, that girl literally left the next week and never came back. Bye. Boo. So, lesson learned. It's always okay to back out of things. If you don't have a good feeling about it, don't go. Regardless of if you paid money or not, regardless of how much you paid, like, money is not worth more than your life, and money is not worth more than your safety. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone. Regardless of if I had fun or not, like, I didn't even have fun all the way. It wasn't even that much of a good trip. So I would never go again with people I did not know. And no men allowed. I'm sorry, unless you're gay. I need some proof. You're not going on the trip. I don't care. Thank you for listening to my video. If you are new to my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe or comment, at least like. If you don't want to like, at least comment. even if it's a hate comment, comment below if you ever had something close like this happen to you, or if like you have experienced something close to this, because I want to know if I'm alone. Like, I feel like the most outrageous scenarios be happening to me. And I feel like, does anyone else experience this stuff, or is it just me?